Triple digits, baby. Hard to believe this show's 2 years old. Man, a lot has happened in 2 years. Seems like yesterday I fled Los Angeles, fired my agent, checked into a beautiful 5-star extended stay hotel, and recorded episode 1 over the sounds of domestic disputes and the smell of what I can only describe as crack cocaine being cooked in every room. Maybe not every room, but if every room has a stove and a microwave, statistically, someone was cooking crack. Guaranteed. 90% chance that's what that was, because my mom has made a lot of exotic dishes growing up, and I have never smelled that stale smell. I just hope one day I meet the rapper that was cooking crack in the room next door. I wouldn't be surprised, really. Like 3 years from now, I meet like a famous rapper, and he's like, yeah, in 2020 during the pandemic, I was cooking crack in the extended stay in Orlando to pay for studio time. That's why my name's Lil Stay. And I'm like, just out of curiosity, do you remember what room you were in for that month? And he's like, 211. No way. I was in 212. I knew that was you. What a small world. So yeah, man, we're here. A lot has happened over the last 2 years. A lot of good things, too. It's what happens when you don't quit. You know, I started this podcast out of the hotel, like I mentioned. If you go back to episode 1, you'll see the horrible backdrop that was that room. Some crooked curtains, some stained walls. But yeah, it was just a weird time. You know, I couldn't get on stage, so I got the studio equipment, and I was just hotel to hotel, man, looking for like the cheapest rates. I was like, do I get an apartment? You know, I stayed in Miami with my boy Danny. Shout out to him for a minute. You know, I stayed with Chip. You guys know him, for like 5 days. Shout out to Modelo, man. And I had no idea, man. I don't think anybody did. But I was like, do I get an apartment? Do I go back to L.A.? You know, I got out of L.A. because it just, you know, their lockdown was just fucking draconian. You know, I remember we went to go play basketball, and they had a 2x4 nailed to the rim, so you couldn't put the ball through the hoop. And I was like, dude, I got to get out of here, man. It was just creepy, you know, and I told everyone what was going to happen. No one believed me. And then 2 years later, everyone's like, you were right. But, I didn't say it to be right. I said it to be like, hey, we should probably get the fuck out of here. So yeah, no, now I'm in Orlando, Florida, got my thing going here. And I'm just grateful that you guys come back every week, listen to the show. We're in triple digits, man. It's really cool. It's really cool to be here. So, 2 years ago, I'm just in a shitty hotel, just wondering what the next move is. Recording this podcast, looking out the window, watching drunks yell at their wife in the parking lot. And 2 years later, I'm recording this in a nice apartment, watching drunks yell at their wife on the lake. So don't give up, man. Don't ever quit. People will always be animals, but you can get a better view. All right? I live in an apartment on a lake, and it has a pool, but people that live on the lake across the way, they don't have a pool, but they have a dock for their boat. So they'll drive their boat, beach it over here by the apartment. It's got like a beach area. If you've seen my Instagram stories, you know what I'm talking about. People will park their boat there, use the pool, leave beer cans everywhere, and then drive back and park their boat at their house. I call them pool pirates. They come to invade only to use the pool, and they just leave a fucking mess, dude. Doritos bags, beer cans. It's just like, dude, come on, man. Like, it's the only time I wish I lived in the old days so I could just have a cannon on my balcony, point it off. Just pointed at the beach like the fort in St. Augustine. Here comes the enemy. Are ye lads? Leave thy four loco cans elsewhere. This couple today, they were trying to ride back to their house. They couldn't start their boat. It started storming like crazy, so they all ran back to the boat, and they were trying to start it, and for some reason it wouldn't start. And here comes the leaf blower. God dang it. Yeah, so their boat wouldn't start. I'm making lunch, and all I hear is T-E-E-E-E-E, T-E-E-E-E-E. And I was like, what is going on down there? Is this an ayahuasca ceremony? I expected to see some guy with a drum and a feathered hairpiece. Tee-yee-yee-yee-yee. And I was like, nope, just a couple of pool pirates trying to start their boat, trying to head back to their land. And I'm not a boat mechanic, but tee-yee-yee-yee sounds expensive. Every yee-yee-yee was probably $1,000. But yeah, man, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been listening, everyone who's liked, subscribed, shared it with a friend, left a review. It means a lot, man. We are officially in the triple digits, 100. I still can't believe it. It's the only thing I've done consistently besides stand-up. And if I'm totally honest, my stand-up is 1,000 times better. I've been doing that for almost 8 years, been doing this for 2. So it definitely complements each other. If this is your first time listening, you're probably going to hear jokes that aren't thought out. I've actually been taking a lot of stuff from the podcast and using it on stage, molding it, making it better. So it's been a cool outlet. So yeah, if this is your first time listening, you're going to hear maybe premises or half written jokes. We go over articles, whatever catches my eye during the week, some crazy stuff that happened. We just come here, we chat it up, and, that's what we do. So the show has been evolving over time. I'm getting more comfortable. I know you're out there listening, but unfortunately you're just a number on the screen. It says downloads and then how many. It's just such a different art form from having someone in front of you, people in front of you reacting. I could say something funny on the podcast, not really know it, but on stage you get that instant yes, this was funny, this was not funny. You can see faces. What do I need? Is everything going well? The podcast is still okay, go in the room, close the door, turn the camera on, clap, sync the audio, learn how to edit, all that stuff. So it's cool, man. It's one of the hardest things I've done is this solo podcast. People even ask me all the time, they're like, man, I want to do a solo podcast. How do you do it? And I'm just like, dude, it is crazy. Because I have friends who have podcasts with somebody else and then they want to do their own. And I'm like, man, it is just a different dynamic to be sitting at a table and just talking to an iPhone. But it's cool, man. I know about 30 people who listen to the show personally. So I try and picture you listening in the same room, little mental tricks. But golly, dude, my mouth is on fire. I drank a ginger root shot. Says it was supposed to be good for energy, a coffee replacement, but I just feel like I bit into the pile of ginger that they leave next to the wasabi when you go to get sushi. My mouth is just on fire. I'm like, maybe that's where the energy comes from. There's no caffeine or anything, but maybe it's just the fact that your mouth is on fire that you're awake. I'm just like, dude. And the water doesn't help at all. I think it just creates more of the sensation. So yeah, without you guys, man, I am just a moron talking to himself. So I appreciate you. Without you, there's no show. By the way, I did find the episode. If you listen to last week's episode 99, you'll know that I had to redo it twice. I just did the same ideas twice. And then for some reason, I don't know if it was in the cloud. I don't know how that works. But the 40 minutes of video came back to my phone somehow. 2 days later, it was your storage is full. And I was like, how? And then I go in and I'm like, oh, there's the video. There's episode 99. So, and I'm not going to lie. The original episode was way better. So I kind of did the second one out of, I could tell I was frustrated doing the show. I'm like, I already did this. We already read this article. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, man. I mean, over the last 2 years, we've had minor technical difficulties, but even though it's minor, it is a huge setback when you're like, holy shit, I got to redo the episode. Oh, I got the video, but I didn't get the audio. The SIM cards always freak out. On the audio board, the SIM card will be error, or then the phone will have not enough storage, and it's just always something. I'm longing for the day where I have another dude in here that's okay, all your audio's good, just start talking. And then I don't have to worry about any of that. I can just do the show and bounce. But we're getting there. We're going to get there. Yeah, I found the footage. The footage just popped back up on my phone, and I'm like, what a damn catastrophe. Or catastrophe. Which one is it? Is it catastrophe or is it catastrophe? I've heard both. Like a shipwreck scene in a movie. Batten down the hatches, lads. The ship is headed for sheer catastrophe. And then you got my high school football coach coming into the locker room at halftime like, what the hell you boys doing out there? Defense is a goddamn catastrophe. So I've heard both. I don't know. I say both. People laugh when I say catastrophe, but I'm like, dude, I don't know. Might just be a British thing. They say garage is garage and aluminum is aluminium. I do like when they say Jaguar, though, the car. They're like Jaguar or Jaguar. Some weird shit. Jaguar. This year we got the new 2022 Jaguar F-Type. You say Jaguar? Jaguar? Yeah, man, things are good. Bounce back. I got a job selling CD from shop to shop, gas stations, smoke shops. Yeah, I walked into this smoke shop downtown last night, and the shop owner was on the phone, and he's like, give me a second. And he goes, he's on the phone with his friend or something. And he goes, I just got a nude from Stacy. It's like an older guy, right? And he goes, no, not your wife, the other Stacy. And he's just like, he goes, dude, she's banging. And he's like, no, I'm not going to send you the pic over the internet. He goes, I'll see you when I see you. And he goes, all right, I got a guy here. I'll call you later. Hangs up the phone, right? He comes up to me. He goes, hey, man, you want to see this chick? He goes, she's bad. I'm like, might as well, right? You know, I guess I got to see the nude if I'm going to sell this guy some product. He comes around the counter, dude, shows me this, like, old woman, right, with no nipples. I can't even. He goes, she doesn't have any nipples because she had breast cancer, but you don't need nipples. He goes, you don't need the nipple anyway. Got the deal. That's all that matters. Hey, if I got to see a woman with no nipples every day to get a sale, I'm fine. Oh, look, a woman with no nipples. Check, card, or cash, sir. We just started talking, and, dude had like a mullet mohawk. He was wearing a Raw jersey, the rolling paper company. He's got like earrings. He had a knife around his neck. You know, just a complete character, dude. And he was telling me, he's like, his son came in because he lived downtown, and he was like, yeah, I'm the cool dad. And I'm like, yeah, seems like it. And he goes, yeah, tell my kids that. And I was like, hey, dude, my dad's the cool dad too. You know, he's like, do whatever you want. You know, my parents really never like steered me into a certain direction. They kind of just give you the knowledge, and they're like, all right, you got it. You know, you do whatever you want kind of thing, you know. Like, oh, I'm going to do stand-up. You know, at first my dad laughed. Remember I first told my dad I wanted to do stand-up, and he was like, I was in California the first time. I told my dad I was going to move to New York and do stand-up, and he goes, yeah, how's work going? That was his response. But then I did it, and it's like, there's nothing, you know, it's like, hey, do what you want. You know what I mean? I'm grateful I never had that parent that, like, forced you into something. You know, like, you have to be a piano player or you have to play sports. Like, and I played sports my whole life, but it wasn't like, you better fucking, you know, you better do this every day and all that shit. You know, it was just kind of like, yeah, if you like it, do it. If not, who gives a shit? But I grew up around a lot of those kids, man, where they didn't even want to play the sport and their dad forced them to, whether it be like basketball, football. You know, and then you go out to LA and you got those parents that they're like, oh, how I would never force my kid to play a sport. And it's like, yeah, but you're forcing your kid to be an actor. If anything, that's worse. You know, those LA parents are like, oh my God. You know, the like in Russia, every kid is cage fighting at the age of 7. And, you know, the LA parents are like, how dare they put their kid in a cage? I'm like, you're putting your kid in the room with Harvey Weinstein. So, like, I'd rather my kid get choked in a cage with a ref than choked by a casting director behind closed doors, if you know what I mean. It's the same energy. It's like, my kid is, it's like living through it's like the parents that live through their kid. I sucked at football, but my kid's going to be in the NFL. And it's like these parents that are like, I always wanted to be an actress, but I couldn't, no one ever casted me, but I have 3 kids and they're going to all be in movies. And it's like, dude, what's the new show? I don't watch it. Stranger Things. They got like 4 kids in there. It's like the amount of actors that come out later and they're like, I was abused my whole life. And you're just like, Jesus, dude. But I guess that's the price you pay for a good movie like Home Alone. Oh, shit. Got into an argument with this girl today about the Federal Reserve. That was like the weirdest shit ever. I don't even know how we got on the topic. She was like, I think she said like money's controlled by the people, and if we all realize that it has no value, then it's worthless. And I was like, well, that's kind of already worthless anyway. I'm like, it's printed by the Federal Reserve. And then she said, well, the people control the money. And I go, the people do not control the money. Who do you think prints it? And she's like, it doesn't matter who prints it. And I'm like, yes, the fuck. I'm like, you're 21. You're a 21-year-old gym rat. How much research have you done about the Federal Reserve? I've been on this fucking train since 9th grade. All you're worried about is your Netflix shows and getting a big ass, which is fine. But don't step into the realm of conspiracy when you haven't lost sleep over this shit. When you haven't had Instagram accounts banned for posting shit like that. It's just so weird, dude. She was like, you're being so mean. I'm like, I'm not being mean. I'm telling you. She's like, I'll talk to you later because you're being mean. And I'm like, I'm not being mean. I just told you that you do zero research. I'm like, what the fuck do you know about central banking? I didn't say it. I didn't say it like that, but you think it. Like, what? I've learned to just walk away from arguments. It's like, what's the point of wasting energy, especially over text? Then she started sending me articles, and I'm like, this is from fucking CNN. And then I'm like, CNN is part of Operation Mockingbird Media. And she's like, what's that? And I'm like, I don't have time. I'm so done with explaining. I've come to find out it's like you learn how the world operates, or at least how you think it operates, and then you navigate from there, I have no patience to sit here and explain to someone how everything works if they don't even want to listen, or if they just dismiss you as crazy. It's like, all right, then I'm fucking crazy. Now what? Now, do you want to come over later? Like, what are we talking about? But yeah, the less time I spend on all the conspiracy stuff, or as I call it, truth. Yeah, but the less time you spend looking at all that, man, and the news and the media, and just like, I'm done, dude. I've clocked out from everything. The news, the media, part of me has to be involved still. If I'm looking for an article, I have to dig through the bullshit. What are they talking about now? They're still talking about Trump and like the FBI and the elections. And it's just, dude, it's year after year. It's the same shit year after year. And people just get sucked into it, dude. And it's like the only people that it benefits are the people that are making money from it. Otherwise, it's pulling you away from your own shit. It's just such a distraction. So I'm just like, I'm mentally clear, dude. I don't post anything anymore about that shit. I do not give a fuck. And I feel better. I feel better knowing that, like, yeah, they're steering America straight into a wall, but it's like, what am I going to do about it? So yeah, man, you just got to do what makes you happy and mash on, That's what I'm learning is just, for me, it's just jumping on here, doing the podcast with you, getting on stage every night. And, dude, the videos have just been going crazy, man. Thank you, everyone who's been sharing them. I feel like it's just, everything's finally coming together. Man, like 500,000 views on a stand-up clip. The YouTube just broke 1,000 subscribers, which is huge. TikTok's approaching 20,000 followers or whatever, and I just jumped on Facebook again, just posting some videos, and man, everyone has just been sharing them, and I'm so appreciative. I'm so grateful. I want to shout out Michael Sean. Rest in peace, man. He was the one who told me, during the pandemic, he was like, dude, you got to do a podcast. And I never really wanted to be one. I didn't want to be a guy, just another comedian with a podcast, you know what I mean? But he just was like, dude, I'm telling you, he's like, you need to do one. And that was actually one of the last things he said to me before he died. So I was like, you know what, man, fuck it, dude. It's kind of like I was kind of like, I'll do it for me, but I'll also do it for him, you know, because he was so adamant about it. So yeah, man, shout out to Michael Sean. Crane Arcane, always up there in New York, sharing the shit out of the videos, man. Much love. Appreciate you, brother. Hope all is well. Michael Calsi, Fonto, Chip Mendoza, Daniel Eradikai, Gary Lelly, Nancy Todd, Dave Ferrugio, Rick Garcia, Adam Abrams. Shout out to Trill Trees, Nick Florio, Chase Fisher, Josh Brabson, David Lakin, Larry Henning, my mom, Nick Tallelli, Jake Rica, Joe Sensabella, Ross Paget, my dad. I don't want to miss anyone, dude. I know I did. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. Everyone listening, everyone coming back, man. I can't thank you enough. Trust me, like words can't describe how much it means to me for y'all to be sharing everything and just coming back every week, dude, listening to my bullshit. So we'll leave it right there, man. If you like the show, again, like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week for more. Appreciate you.
You want to smoke something?
You've seen him perform all over LA. Give it up for Sean Madden, everybody.
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
This joke's not gonna go well. You gotta let him